You know her from cooking, gardening, business, and her unlikely friendship with Snoop Dogg. But did you know Martha Stewart just headlined one of the biggest insurance and risk management conventions in the world, Risk World 2025? Hi, I'm Conticia, and welcome to Unfiltered Insurance and Adjuster Talk. Now, if you have run across this episode and you have not subscribed to my channel, please do so. I am trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. Now, I did say when I get to 1,000 subscribers, I am going to buy one of those little nice microphones, to make, my office or my studio to really look like I'm in a studio. So that's going to be my reward for hitting that milestone. Now, I just want you to know that I'm not going anywhere. So you might as well subscribe. I'm going to keep you updated on the latest gossip and insurance news. We all have some type of insurance. You maybe have health insurance, I hope so, homeowners insurance, renters insurance, a car insurance. Hell, most people have pet insurance. So we have insurance, but we got to know how it works, how it benefits us, and how they need us in order to stay in business. And you want to know what your insurance company is doing. Are they being ethical? Are they paying out the claims that they need to pay? Are they really a good insurance company who will earn your hard money, your hard-earned money? Do they earn it? Do they deserve it to have you as a member of their organization? So I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to break down insurance for you, bring the latest news. I'm also an independent adjuster, so I also will be speaking to independent adjusters. And I will say independent adjusters, especially independent desk adjusters, we have a problem. We're not being hired like we normally are. They're cutting back on us. But anyways, please subscribe and share it to anyone that you know that has insurance, which is pretty much most of the people here in the United States. We have some form of insurance. So back to the episode. Now, and you probably ask yourself, why would you be interested in Martha Stewart headlining this? I told someone, I said, Martha Stewart was a headliner at Risk World. And you know what they said to me? I don't want to know anything about Martha Stewart. And I said, that's very interesting. Because, there is something that I think about. It's called gleaning. When you can learn to glean or pick up those breadcrumbs that people leave behind, that's how you can really get to your destination. Do you remember the woman in the field? They left those, they left the wheat down there for her and she was gleaning what was left. And she gleaned enough to make sure they had a meal. That's how you have to think. That's how you have to open up your mind to think to yourself, why is Martha Stewart headlining Risk World? Because she's not talking about baking cakes or doing a home over or making flower arrangements, doing a garden at Risk World. No, she was not. She was there to unveil one of her newest creations or newest things that she think that she wants to do. Not think that she is going to do. Martha Stewart is 83 years young, and she's thinking about you as her next customer. Now, when she headlined this, first let me tell you this. Risk World, okay? This is their 75th annual. They haven't had one in a couple of years. So this convention, it attracted 11,000 attendees from 70 different countries. So this is big business, and it must be something about this Risk World to bring Martha Stewart and all these people from 70 different countries. They had 3 days of speakers, exhibits, and network marketing. How about that? 11,000 to network market with and pitch your idea? I said to myself, that's what Martha Stewart's been doing. Because guess who is her next door neighbor? The Chubb CEO. If you don't know what Chubb is another insurance company. Chubb CEO, Evan Greenberg. And she said, it's very convenient having your insurance guy next door. I'm quite sure she pitched something to him and he said, let's go with it. Now, you know what I was even thinking about? Because Trump recently put Evan Greenberg on the committee for FEMA. And I was thinking to myself, how would another rich guy know anything about having a loss, about losing and trying to rebuild? How would they even know what the average person or average American would go through when a hurricane hit their home? Maybe he would know. Maybe he's done claims. I'm not saying he hasn't done any claims, because maybe he has. I don't know. But sometimes I wish they would choose someone who maybe came up through the trenches like us, who knows about loss, and who's not just about profit, but can really see the American people. Anyways, let me not go down that rabbit hole. Let me get back to Martha Stewart. You see, the wealthy and the well-connected, they prioritize insurance. It's just not an option for them. And it should not be an option for everyday people either. We have to understand that insurance is a resource. It's not a burden if you know how to use it correctly. Now, going on with Martha Stewart's highlight of the moment. She talked about her early career. She talked about that she was Wall Street. She was a brokerage on Wall Street. And see, let me tell you something. I didn't even know that. But that allows me to put two and two together with when she, got in trouble for inside trading. You remember that? And I'm going to tell you something. Martha Stewart really earned my respect. Because one thing she did, she took that sentence and she even went in early for her sentence. Martha's like, look, let me get this out the way. Martha went in there like a G. And I'm going to tell you another thing. She didn't even snitch on anyone. That chick went there and did her time and came back out and picked up where she left off at, and even doing much better. But she talked about her Wall Street career. And she also said that that's where her first clients came from for her catering business. That's how she got her clients. You see what I'm saying? She took her clients from Wall Street to catering. She also talked about her unlikely friendship with Snoop Dogg. And she said, look, we do come from very different backgrounds, but we've expanded our audiences. She said, when I go to Seal Harbor now, and I don't know what Seal Harbor is, but I'm going to look it up. And she said, when she goes there, they all want to know how Snoop is doing. I wonder how he's doing too. But I'll tell you another thing she said too, is that she joked that one of the biggest regrets she had was not marrying Warren Buffett. She said he once picked her up from an airport in an old Chevy with a license plate that said Thrifty. She said at the time Bill Gates was trying to set them up, but Stewart thought it was just a business meeting. You see how this chick is always thinking about business? You see, she thinks this is just a business meeting, but not understanding that Bill trying to hook them up. I'm going to tell you something. It's something about your circle of influence when somebody's trying to hook you up to one of the wealthiest men. Girl, okay. This is why it's important that we know who we are and we understand that we do have to protect ourselves, just like Martha Stewart is doing. Now, she also says she have mentors. You will say to yourself, gosh, she's as wealthy as she is. What mentors does she need? She mentioned Bill Gates as one. She mentioned Steve Jobs was one of her mentors. She said tech entrepreneurs are her mentors. She also said these guys are just so nerdy and just so smart, and you can learn a lot from them, she said. She said technology has played a big role in her career. Her magazine was one of the first to move to digital layout. You see breadcrumbs? Yeah. She also spoke about the wildfires in California. She stated that she was in a meeting doing business with Skechers, and there was the wildfire. She can see the smoke coming up. And some of her friends, people she knew, they lost their homes. But she was doing a business meeting there in California while the wildfires was going. Always thinking business. 83 years young. I think we can learn something from her. I just want us to know as consumers, we don't always have to be consumers. We can also flip the script. And I believe that the insurance industry is where we can flip the script if most of us get involved and understand how insurance works. Again, insurance is a resource, it's not a burden if you use it correctly. Now, she also talked about the tariffs that President Trump put in place. Stewart has partnerships with companies in China. And she said she isn't a fan of those tariffs imposed on countries. She says not good for business, and it definitely ain't good for building business either. You see, the reason why I like to study insurance because I know it's big business and I have my feet in it. And somehow I know that you can set yourself right with insurance or your family with insurance. I'm going to give you an example. Recently, there was a death in our family last year. And once my mother passed away, she had an insurance policy. Money was left, right? But before she passed away, that left her chunks of money in her account to take care of her while she was still alive. Not even really using her retirement, but we can have that money sitting there paying her doctor bills or whatever is needed for her. This is why it is imperative that if you're going to work hard for something, make sure it is insured. You should be insured. You should be insured. You should have health insurance. You should have life insurance. You want to ensure what's important, and you are important. And let me tell you something. Martha Stewart was not there to talk about cakes, pies, baking, and what temperature to have your oven on. No. She was there about a new project, and she has you in mind. She's working on a digital home organizer that will include important documents like insurance information. She said, if I were to get in a car accident with the touch of a button, I'll be able to know what my deductible is, she said. If Martha Stewart know how important insurance is, wouldn't you want to have yourself covered as well? Now, I was saying to myself, now, Martha, you on to something. But if that touch of a button can tell me my deductible and also tell me more about my insurance policy and if I am covered, if it can dissect my insurance policy for me, because insurance policies can be a little complex to read and to understand. Now, if she takes that thing to the level to where it's going to let me know my deductible, my insurance policy, how I'm covered, how to use it, and then also have a button I can push to file my claim, she may have a customer here. Now, Martha, that's a little tip for you. You can pay me 10% for that tip, okay? I'll take it. But anyways, I'm just saying, she is 83 years young and she have us in mind. She know how important it is to have all your documents. And she also know the importance of insurance because she was at Risk World. And she said, let me tell you something. It is a good thing when you have your insurance guy next door. I'm quite sure she pitched this idea to Evan Greenberg and he told her to go for it. She headlined the Risk World. She headlined that to introduce this product. Now, let me tell y'all something about Risk World. I just want to let y'all know about when you're trying to take calculated risk. See, risk management is the process of identifying, assessing, and controlling threats to an organization. The organization's capital, earnings, and operation. You are an organization. You are a brand. You are your family's brand, your family's organization. You have to treat yourself as an organization and understand what calculated risk can I take? How can I improve from where I am with the resources I have? Because if anything happened to you, do you have a life insurance policy that will pay a loved one out, your children or your wife or husband, that will pay them out if you're gone, to get them on their trajectory? Because you never know where that life insurance policy can take them. Yeah, what, Master P? He was left insurance policy and he took it and he did a whole company on that. That's how he got started. This is how we can use resources at the level that we're at. You want to leave an inheritance? Get an insurance policy. That's the way you can leave an inheritance. I remember I was selling insurance one day And I went to a house, and he told his wife, no, I don't need that. I'm going to self-insure. And she looked at him. She was furious, but he was the breadwinner. She was a homemaker. She didn't have any say in it. I don't know what happened. I left there and I was a little disappointed because I'm saying to myself, I'll be surprised if you will actually self-insure yourself. But let me tell you something. If he was to leave, what happens to her? You see, this is why you have to be smart. And this is why they take these risks. This is what they know. This is why we have to be able to glean from these people and understand, even in this state of our country, Martha Stewart is still creating at 83. She's still creating. She saw those tariffs, but did it stop her? No. She knew it's not good for business, but she was going to make some other decision to how she can keep that going. That's how we have to think, and we have to understand. We have to look at insurance as a resource and not a burden. We just got to understand how to use it and make sure we have the proper coverage. That's why I'm here, and I'm going to teach you how to do that. Now, remember, when they're talking about Risk World and they're coming together and networking, I was looking up Risk World because I want to know more. And I'm like, gosh, how can I be an attendee? Oh my gosh, to be an attendee is like $5,000 to $10,000. Okay, maybe that's in my future. I can see that. But anyways, I do want to tell you one other thing about Risk World. One of their quotes was, we don't manage risk so we can have no risk, because they know they're going to have a risk. When we wake up, we're taking a risk. When we go out the door or driving, we're taking a risk. We manage risk so we know which risks are worth taking, which ones will get us to our goal, which ones have enough of a payout to even take them. I hope that you know that you are worth the risk. Get your health insurance in check. Homeowners, life insurance. If you have a home, you want to make sure it's protected. You don't want to depend on FEMA, because FEMA may not even be there anymore. You want to make sure that you are protecting what you have. And I'm just looking at this here. If Martha Stewart isn't just baking cakes, she's building legacy, protecting wealth, and make sure that every risk she takes is backed by wisdom. Are you doing the same? I want to encourage you. Know what your insurance coverages are. Know your deductibles, know your policies. Call your agent. Ask your agent, what type of coverage do I have? And if they don't know, they should point you to who do know, because sometimes agents don't know. Most time agents will call us and ask us, are there people covered? And we'll go through the policy with them and let them know. So sometimes they don't know. But you want to find out who does know so you can make sure you have the right and proper coverage. Here, and listen to this. See insurance as a tool of freedom and security, not just a bill. It has to be used correctly. That's my time. Thank you for tuning in to Unfiltered Insurance and Adjuster Talk. I will see you on the next episode. Take care.